बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण मंगल मूर्ति राम दुलारे आन पड़ा अब तेरे द्वारे हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण। तीनों लोक तेरा उजियारा, दुखियों का तूने काज संवारा। तीनों लोक तेरा उजियारा, दुखियों का तूने काज संवारा। हे जगवंश अतुलित बलधामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुबेसा, कान कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ बांसुरी ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महा जगवंदन। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। विद्यावान गुणी चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, सीता मनबतिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, ही बहुत बड़ाई संभाई श्रीमती कंठ लगाए संसारिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जय सिया राम जय जय सिया जब कुबेर दिक्पाल जमाते कभी को बीच कहीं से कमाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना राम मिलाए राज पद दीना तुम्हारो मत विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर से सब जग जाना युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लीलोकारि मधुर फल जानु जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम प्रभु मोद्रिका मेरी मुख माही जलधि लाहि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के सुगम लोक तुम्हारे राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी करुणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम आपन तेज संभालो आपे तीनों लोक हाँकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नाते रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तुमसे काल सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे कोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है परपेश जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे जय सिया राम जय जय सिया अष्टसिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दाता तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे जन्म जन्म के दुख विसरावे अंतकाल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त सहाई जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम और देवता चित्त न धरी हनुमत तेरी महावीर करो कल्याण। ज्योत जला दो मन में, राम कृपा बरसे जीवन में। भक्ति की ज्योत जला दो मन में, राम कृपा बरसे जीवन में। बल बुद्धि विद्या के दाता, बल बुद्धि विद्या के दाता, हर लीजिए मन का अज्ञान, हर लीजिए मन का अज्ञान।
Marco is stupid. Very stupid and really funny going. Stop him up. You can still talk to him? I will give him a few slaps. I'll give him a few slaps before you go. You want to go? Not yet, everybody to sleep. I'll give him a few slaps before you go. I know. It's a fly.
Friends, we are pleased to have you here with us today. I want to request that those who are viewing can do so at this time because we are expecting a pundit shortly and then the ceremony will commence. So it's open to you to come and have a look at the ceremony. Please look in majesty.
Thank you, beloved. Namaste, Sitaram. Good morning to one and all, brothers and sisters. In this community, they are very united. Beloved, we have lost a very good son of the soil. And in this regard, those who are lucky sometimes will get, a very good celebration of their death. Just as we have celebration of life. So I'm going to do 2 or 3 bhajan, at least 2. This one says, just like a bird locked in a cage, so my Paddy, that we may have all the freedom in life. We have only luxury, but we are trapped in our mind. So we must be free. Nobody knows your pain, your hidden pain. But when you have hidden pain, you have hidden diseases. You have to let it go. So you all join me, please. Everybody can't go in front and sing, but one man may lead, others will help follow. And Lachu Road is a very wonderful place with Govinda Narayan, whom we have known in Morocco and so on. And I came here especially, a good friend named Kato, a farmer from Morocco. We all have our, he will become a representative for that. मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम हे राम घर घर को घर घर को कहाँ अपना सिर को इस जीवन में मिलो न तुमको इस जीवन में मिलो न तुमको मुझे मरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम. My brothers and sisters, over time, it's very brief. I like it very brief. But we did understand, a lot of people who might understand, we want to understand, things like there was a man who went hardcore, his lottery is $10 million. If I win $500,000, you don't buy me money, he wins $100,000. And he tells me what he's going to do.
So I just ask you to thank you Hare, so you will get my hands, okay? Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Yo Yo Namah Prachodayat Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Yo Yo Namah Prachodayat Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Yo Yo Namah Prachodayat. Time to join in with me. This is here already, so we will take over and start the ceremony. But first, we will attempt to do this Vajra
पूरन कर दे सबकी आशा
community bless him, embrace him, and make this transition easy. So, one day will soon shortly be due.
Okay, so you all join me with the next bhajan.
तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का, सर्वा हरि का करके, उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का, सर्वा हरि का करके, उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा। दर्शन हो माँ तेरे, सबकी अभिलाषा है, मन में रहो तुम सबकी, तुमसे ही आशा है। क्या उसका ये अपना पराया, क्या सर ज्योति जला करके रोशन कर जग सारा, रोशन कर जग सारा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का, सर्वा हरि का करके, उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा।
Next one say, one day we'll have to meet you over there, look at them. So, thank you, Baba. Don't waste your time. Rusha. Rusha.
बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. So devotees, when one departs this world, the only thing that we can do for them is to pray to Lord Krishna. There is nothing that we can offer directly to the dearly departed, for the departed have left the physical. And the only thing that we can do is to make offerings to Lord Krishna with love and faith, so that the dearly departed will benefit from our sacrifices. So at this time, let us all stand. We pray to Sri Krishna, asking that the blessings be with the dearly departed, wherever he may be. He will find peace and happiness. And whatever offerings we make unto you, O Lord, that you take the blessings unto him, so that he will get that comfort, that peace. Let us all pray. गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुचरण कमलेभ्यो नमः। ॐ स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिस्वाव स्वस्ति न पूष्य विश्ववेदः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षुररिष्टानीमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातुः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितं भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतावर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वम् अनुसन्धामि भगवद्गीते भवाद्वेषिणीम्। ॐ नमो विज्ञानरूपाय परमानन्द स्वरूपिणे कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय गोपीनाथाय नमो नमः। ॐ पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ असतो मा सर्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। आसन लीजिए, प्लीज टेक योर सीट्स devotees. The devotees at this time, the brothers, the cousins, they are going to perform the final rites. And while this puja is in progress, if there's anyone who wish to do any bhajan kirtan, you can do so.
Continue until someone comes again. This song is to Pawan Putra Hanuman to give the family courage and strength to overcome this great loss. I saw in pictures he was a good fisherman. He could catch the biggest fish. And Lord catch him today. All right. महाप्रभु जो कुछ संकट होई हमारो कौन सो संकट मोरे गरीबों को जो तुमसे नहीं जाते हैं दारू। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो महाराज। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो महाराज। मन में तुम्हारी शक्ति विराजी मन भक्ति से बिना जो जहाँ तुम्हारे शरण में आए जो जहाँ तुम्हारे शरण में आए दुख दर्द हर लीना ओ हनुमत
दुख दर्द हर लीना। महावीर प्रभु हमें दुखियन को, महावीर प्रभु हमें दुखियन को, तुम हो घरी अनिवार्य हनुमत, तुम हो घरी अनिवार्य हनुमत। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो महाराज। राम लखन भय ही तुम पर, सर रहे हर्षाए। हृदय चीर से राम सिया का, हृदय चीर से राम सिया का, दर्शन दिया कराई। दूर कर जोर अज हनुमंता, कहिए प्रभु से आज हनुमत, कहिए प्रभु से आज हनुमत। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो महाराज। Well, I'm doing this bhajan each one Allah. By the time somebody you know will come forward now and take one thing one two, right? I know Mr. Govinda now I know wrong. You could come forward a little bit. Alright, I'm going to sing this song which says, God, no matter how you call him. You know, I think I was singing too much of them mosquito like going to bite you. Then I sing a nice song and then get a good deal. Right? Like you're fascinating here. ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम, सबको सम्मत दे भगवान। ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम, सबको सम्मत दे भगवान। सबको सम्मत दे भगवान, सारे जग तेरे संसार, सारे जग तेरे संसार। इस धरती पर बसने वाले सब है तेरी गोद के भाले, सब है तेरी गोद के भाले। कोई नीच न कोई महान, सबको सम्मत दे भगवान। ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम, सबको सम्मत दे भगवान। जन्म कोई मोल नहीं है, जन्म न मुश्किल नहीं है, जन्म न मुश्किल नहीं है। कर्म से है सबकी पहचान, सबको सम्मत दे भगवान। ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम, सबको सम्मत दे भगवान। सबको सम्मत दे भगवान, सारे जग तेरे संसार, सारे जग तेरे संसार। Any other bhajan here? Come quick, Baba, say you want to hear. Mr. Govinda, now, please come in now. Alright, I'm going to one as few sloka of your mind by the time Baba is completing the important detail, and then we go as soon as you're ready. Ram Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Mangal Bhavanaya, Mangalhari, Dravahu Sudasharat Ajira Bihari। सब कोई बोले राम सिया राम जय जय राम। राम सिया राम जय जय राम। Wasi di man komen himself man, he more bigger than Rama himself in community. Come Mr. Go.
Say two good friends, good friend, man. You live in the village, there's a man in the high office, in the low office, all the office with him. See, man, you look good.
Okay.
Same as usual.
Members of the bereaved family, Sitaram to one and all. Today this community is in mourning. We have indeed lost a great soul. Praimraj, as we all fondly call him, was a man for all seasons. He was an excellent sportsman, good cricketer, and then seen today a good fisherman as well. He was an entrepreneur. He was a very good community man. All these qualities are seldomly possessed by one individual. Praimraj is one such individual that we share a lot of memories with. Recently he lost his wife, and I am not too sure whether he recovered from that. It would have been a great blow. But Praimraj was always a fighter. Some years ago he lost his business here due to a fire. But he was able to survive that and continue to work hard to build his business. So he was a good fighter, but the battle of death is the only one I know that he lost. And so too, my brothers and sisters, none of us will be able to challenge death. This is the reality of life. When I say he was young, 59 years, gone too soon, but please let us remember the 59 years of his life that he has contributed so much to his family, his friends, and the community. We must treasure this part of his life. Today, while we mourn his death, the only thing Praimraj will be able to carry from this world is his good name. And I assure you, he did possess a good name. He was a liver in the community, and he was good to one and all. Recently, the great Lata Mangeshwar, who died before her final words were, she possessed so many mansions, but the only thing that mattered in the end was the little room in the hospital that she had to stay in. So many motor cars, so many limousines, but the only thing she could saddle herself with in the end was a wheelchair hurling her around to the various places in the hospital to get her test done. My brothers and sisters, Praimraj is lying here today in front of us in this coffin. And one day all of us will be in a similar position. Let us use his death as a reminder to all of us that we will be there one day, and let us make the best use of this life. Let us ensure that the legacy that Praimraj has left, the good name that he has left, that we too, when we lie in a similar position like Praimraj one day, the rest of the world will be able to say that there goes a great soul, someone who contributed a lot to his family, friends, and community. My sincerest condolences to the family, especially his 2 young children, his 3 children, and the immediate family. I pray that the good Lord will bless you and carry you through this difficult period of mourning, and that may Praimraj's soul find the resting place. Thank you.
So Ladies and gentlemen, the evergreen Mr. Govind Narayan, one of so the highest office, and yet he continued to serve. May God bless you to live long and continue to do a good thing, Mr. Govind. No matter when I left, I'm thinking your name. That when you go in this district, you'll find a man called Govind Narayan. So you all are blessed, and really is very blessed to have his good friend to give that sort of eulogy. I think that feels that I think it's time Baba should allow the eulogy time. So whoever we come forward now, I think this is a good time. It's a time about to see what really eulogy I think. Anyone else? Okay. So Bob, audio again. I'll just continue the little slope of time already again, huh? And I have a line so to say that, let us sing that when we feet doesn't give up, then we mustn't say what we ain't going here and there, right?
मेरी चादर ओढ़ कैसी द्वार तुम्हारे आओ हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माओ मेरी चादर ओढ़ कैसी द्वार तुम्हारे आओ हे पवन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माओ मेरी चादर ओढ़ कैसी इन फलों से चल कर तेरे मंदिर कभी न आया जहाँ जहाँ हो पूजा तेरे मंदिर शीशा झुकाया हे हरिहर में आरती आया अब कलदा चढ़ाओ मेरी चादर ओढ़ कैसी द्वार तुम्हारे आओ हे पवन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माओ मेरी चादर ओढ़ कैसी.
The bhajan says that, like a dirty shawl, we must wash it, so we have to wash the dirty body. And when we go to God, we will have a clean, what we call status quo. Okay, Bob, all to you again. For those who are doing the arati and so on, please come forward and all conduct the arati.
Take a flower.
So, by the meantime, anybody again in the audience would like to make a very small contribution? You can come forward,
Yeah.
because this is the last moment. Alright. So by the meantime, we'll still do a little bhajan again, right? Come, Right. Jaldi se. So you see, as Govinda already outlined the great achievements of our dear beloved who are passed and gone to beyond, but his life was complete. Brothers and sisters, God has given you only much that we can bear, and then he has another position. Okay, do you pray?
Today, I have lost a friend. A person who I call friend. And when I say friend, I mean it, that word. That you don't call a friend what's going on. A partner, a friend, but that fella was my friend. Praimraj Sinanan was my friend. He's a fella, when I say local words, you have my back. That's what that fella is. If you say, go forward, he will be there with you. That's the kind of person he was. Praimraj, you have left us too soon, but my friend, it was a pleasure, a privilege to do all sorts of things with you, to fish, to play cricket, all these kind of things. We had a wonderful time with our friend. And anything this person did, Praimraj, he was so passionate. He never liked to lose. He never liked to come back. And I have to go back again. A friend, indeed, a friend in need. Praimraj boy, may your soul rest in peace. To his daughters, may you have all the blessings from the Lord. May your life be perfect from your own. I hope that this family learned a lesson that our loved ones is going very quick. And these children need support from all of us. Not the family alone, from all of us. And when I say support, I don't mean to go and talk to them and say how you're going. We need physical, we need financial, we need everything to provide for these kids. And I hope I don't be insulted, but I hope the family will see to that these children are well taken care of. Because Mr. Sinanan has worked hard, and whatever he left his name, he left his children, and well, I'm lost for words. I can't say what. Friend, go in peace, rest in peace, never rest in peace in the Lord. Thank you.
As I said, a good friend is easier to lose than to found. Yeah? So, Bhaiya, this one is a jewel that has gone. But they say life is a journey, but yet to continue. Yeah? Because he will come back most likely again to continue in another form again. Okay, so by time Baba is ready, anybody still have a little room to at least say a word or two, or just sing a bhajan. Alright, so eight now. Alright, good. Right. Okay, so bring Mahamantra, everybody sing for the peace of his soul. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jai Jai, O Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, O Namah Shivaya, 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 Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. My brothers and sisters, this is Shiva Chitain, and the passing of Lord Shiva. So his soul to be blessed. He didn't have to suffer in bed and all sort of things, children. You know, so that he is in a good place. You know, ladies and gentlemen, just a short little while, you know, we all are very corrupt by money. So you have three fishermen, right? One the first one, like say I one and them preacher man one each. So you have the first preacher man. When you know you get all the, what you call it? The arcing. Or you get the money in the hat. What you do with it? You say that is God money, son. But one man asks the person again, how? That is over to God. He said, well, I agree that simple method, you know. I draw a straight line. What falls in the right hand side is mine, what falls in the left hand side is God's one. So he throw one his side, right hand side. So you ask the next man, preacher man, how you guys offer money to God? He said that's draw a circle, you know. And what falls inside is mine, what falls on the outside. So you make sure you throw plenty outside and throw more inside. So he get that. So the best of all of this, smartest man, he said, I don't show all for God. This is God only, God take it. And what comes down below is mine. So he's sure that all he will get it. So it means that in today's world, we have too much smart men. And when money is concerned, all the corruption, everything is out. Okay, so now, finally, ma'am, are you ready? So we do one more version again, and then we will close because time already is against us. And the soul is a pleasant soul. So as the friend has mentioned, you know, a good friend. Okay, let's do a simple bhajan. All three join. Tumhi ho mata, pita tumhi ho. Tumhi ho mata, pita tumhi ho. Tumhi ho bandhu sakha. Tumhi ho mata, pita tumhi ho. Tumhi ho bandhu sakha tumhi ho. Tumhi ho साथी, तुम्ही सहारे, कोई नहीं अपना सिवा तुम्हारे. तुम्ही हो नैया, तुम्ही की भैया, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो. तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो. तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो. जो किल सके वो फूल हम हैं, तुम्हारे चरणों के दूर हम हैं. दया की दृष्टि सदा की ढकना, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो. तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो. तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो. जो खिल सके ना वो फूल हम हैं, तुम्हारे चरणों के दूर हम हैं. दया की दृष्टि सदा की ढकना, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो. तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो. तुम्ही हो बंधु. और भी बाबा जी.
Oh, Suresh, when you're done, I think you want him to now?
बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. So devotees, it is said in Guru Puran, the scripture that tells us about life, that tells us about health, that tells us about death. It says when one departs this world, we should read from Bhagavad Gita. Because the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is the greatest knowledge upon this earth. It was given from the very lips of the Lord himself, Sri Krishna Bhagwan, to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Kurukshetra is the battlefield of life. You know, Arjuna, when he entered into this battlefield, he was confused. Should I stand up for principles or should I stand up for attachment? And the Lord gave him the knowledge. People change, but principles never change. And if you stand for principles, you are always on the right pathway. So this knowledge is for us. We don't stand for attachment. We don't stand for the material things. We stand for principles. And in standing for principles, everything becomes ours. We'll be on the right pathway. And this is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. But before we read from Bhagavad Gita, I will call upon Suresh Jagasan. He will do the eulogy, and then we're going to read from Bhagavad Gita, and I'll explain to you a little bit of what we are doing today and what we're going to do for the next 13 days, so that the dearly departed soul, the Atman, will benefit.
Sitaram, everyone. First, I'll share a message from one of Prem's favorite cousin, Auntie Shashi from Canada. She says this: Premi, you were not just my cousin, but my brother. We were always close growing up. I will always have wonderful memories of us, as I used to visit you in New York and Trinidad. You were the most loving and kind person. All my cousins in Canada also remember you being so kind. I know Mitra is going to miss you a lot, since he won't have anyone to fight with. You will always be in our hearts, and I know everyone is going to be looking out for your kids. Your loving cousin, Shashi. I'll start with my message. Praimraj Sinanan was born on 29th December 1962 at Lachus Road to Mr. and Mrs. Deusaran Sinanan. He attended the Penal Presbyterian School, where he passed for Astra Boys, San Fernando. Premi's formative years started right here in this village, together with his close cousin and cousins. His early years showed he was above average in most of his endeavors, such as cricket, football, hunting, fishing, cards, cooking, etc., where he excelled. However, something else was different. He set different standards and in a boldness to succeed at everything he did. Premi got married at an early age to Rita. Then he migrated to New York, where his first child, Marissa, was born. The US chapter of his life was filled with many successful and positive stories. He had a close relationship with family and friends. Some of you here present can attest to his excellence at being a people's person. He returned to TNT after 13 years. Then he started his career as an electrician and businessman at an early age. He then partnered with his brother to start a business in woodwork. They started a great new successful enterprise which allowed him to provide for his family. He then remarried to Trisha, who is now deceased, and had two beautiful girls named Kaylee and Kelsey, ages 9 and 6 years. To speak of him and not mention his strength and resilience in trying situations would be futile. People remembered him well because of his passionate and sometimes aggressive approach when speaking, playing and working. Whoever played cricket and went fishing with him should know the character well. Words to describe his character would be brave, charming, humble, and fair. Ever since his return home to TNT, he encouraged togetherness in the village. He was instrumental in inviting myself to join with Metronome's club, to combine with great players to carry the cricket to the next level, creating great excellence and awareness for this community that won 44 games in a row and 5 years without defeat. In the end, we had to dismantle our side because we were undefeated. However, in life, humans are not perfect. So I would humbly ask anyone who pray me may have offended in any way, to find in your hearts to forgive him, for we are imperfect. Pray me had always asked me as a friend and brother to be there for him and his family, which I always did and will always continue. Special thanks to Auntie Wendy, Mitra, Deva, Andy, Roshan, and the Ramdan family. Premi was a son, a father, a leader, a friend, a father-in-law, a villager, and a survivor. God has called for him. May his soul rest in peace. We'll always love you, my brother. Thank you.
बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। No, So devotees, we are going to read two slokas from Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna for our sake. Now the reason we read from Bhagavad Gita, as I said, we want the dearly departed to go with this knowledge, so that he will overcome whatever obstacles is in pathway in the future. And we, as human beings alive here upon this earth, we would like to develop this knowledge so that we can live a virtuous life. A life that leads to Sri Krishna. A life that leads to the Lord, where there will be no more births and there will be no more deaths. There will be no more pains, there will be no more suffering. There will only be peace. And there will only be happiness. So let us listen as Sri Krishna Bhagavan is speaking to Arjuna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Dehi nityam varnuyam, Dehi sarvasya bharata, Tasmat sarvani bhutani, Natvam sochitum arhashi. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Swadharma api chakrishya, navikam pitum arhasi, dharmaya diya chacheyo, naksha satriya shayate. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. So the Lord says, O Arjuna, the Atman that dwells in this body is part of me. It is part of Paramatman, and it is just like me. It has no births and it has no deaths. But dwelling in this body, it becomes attached, and we start thinking that we are separate from God. But the Atman itself does not die, it does not take birth, No one can hurt the self, for the self is the Atman, or the soul. So the Lord is telling us that we are just like Him. The Lord is perfect, and we are perfect. But when we come into this body, because of the material attachments, because we allow the senses to dictate to the mind how we should live, we start thinking ourselves separate from God. And as we start separating ourselves from God, that's when the pains and the sufferings come. That's when the difficulties and the distress will come. But if we can recognize the truth, that we are part of God, and we continue our journey back to Him, there will be total peace and there will be total happiness. So the body is what we call death. You know, we, the self, the Atman or the soul, exist within this body. And we have three bodies. We have the physical body, the one that we see. We have a causal body and we have a subtle body. And what we call death is when the physical stops functioning. And when the physical stops functioning, the causal and the subtle bodies, together with the self, the Atman, moves on. And based upon our karma, based upon our actions, it will determine where we go. If we live a virtuous life, we live a truthful life, we live an honest life, we will be heading towards God. If we live a life of attachment, then we remain in the cycle of birth and death as human beings. And if we live a life of anger and hatred, jealousy and hypocrisy, then we lower our status into what we call hell, the 16 categories of hell, and we take birth as animals and we suffer. So it is in our hands what direction we should go in. And I have known Praimraj for 50 plus years, I would say. And Praimraj was a dutiful person. And you know, duty is worship. When you perform your duty towards your family, towards your children, towards your community, you're worshiping the Lord. And when one worships the Lord in a sincere way, that person is heading towards God. So the Lord said, Sri Krishna Bhagwan is saying, "Oh Arjuna, consider your duty and perform your duty. Do not waver in your duty. Whatever duties you are to perform according to who you are, perform your duties and do not waver. For when you perform your duties, you are living a virtuous life and you will become one with me." And Praimraj lived that life. He lived a dutiful life. He was always there for his children, for his wife. He was there for the community, for his family. And he performed his duties in a steadfast way. And as Sudesh said, this world is called Mrityulok. This world is the world of imperfections. And when we take birth here, sometimes we make mistakes. And Praimraj, living in this world, he also made a few mistakes. But those mistakes, he tried to overcome them. And you know, when we make mistakes and we try to overcome the mistakes, the Lord will accept us. If we make mistakes and we keep being dishonest about our mistakes, we keep hiding our mistakes, then we move away from God. And Praimraj was one who would come to me and he will tell me about the things he did. He will tell me about the good things, the benefits he has, the mistakes he has made, and he will always ask for guidance because he wants to live that life. He wanted to live that life that will be free from those mistakes. So he lived that life and he tried to overcome. So the Lord is saying, when we live that life, we find peace, we find happiness. Now devotees, what we are doing today, the funeral rites, is a very simple ceremony. What we have done here today, we have made 5 offerings. And the reason we have made 5, you know, this body is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, air, space, and heat. And what we want today is we want the 5 elements to return to where it came from. But when you are returning things to where they came from, we should return them in a pure way. So these 5 offerings was to purify the 5 elements. So when we go to the cremation site, first up we are going to say, Dalati Jago, let the earth return to the earth. Second step we are going to say, Jalam Jago, let the water return to the water. Third step, Vayu Jago, let the air return to the air. Fourth step, Akash Jago, let the space return to the space. And the final step, again Jago, let the heat return to the heat. So we have purified the 5 elements so that when we return them to where they have come from, it will not pollute. You know, if I'm returning water to the rivers or the ocean, and that water is polluted, it will pollute the rivers. And when we pollute the rivers, we cause harm to nature. We cause harm to the animals, we cause harm to ourselves, we cause harm to vegetation. We become destructive. So today we don't want to be destructive, so we are purifying the elements to return them. And that is as simple as the ceremony is. That's what we did. And after today now, for the next 13 days, sacrifices will be made. And these sacrifices, as I said before, you cannot offer anything to the dearly departed. He has left the physical and we don't know where he is. But Lord Krishna knows. And when we offer to Lord Krishna in the name of the departed, he will take the blessings to him. So what we will be doing for the next 13 days, we'll be making sacrifices to Lord Krishna so that the Atman can return to Paramatma, so that his soul can return to God. So those are the sacrifices we are going to make for the 13 days. But you know, Lord Krishna only accepts devotion when it is offered from a pure heart. This is why we tell you for the next 13 days, maintain a peaceful life. Maintain a truthful life. Maintain a life that you want the benefits to be for Premi. Because if the heart is impure, if there's hatred and there's anger and there's untruth, then your offerings will be in vain. But if it comes from a pure heart, then and only then the benefits will be made. So 5 of you and everyone else, all the family and all the relatives, when we come to this place here for the next 13 days, we are worshipping Sri Krishna. So we come with a pure heart because it's the duty of every human being to make others happy. If I cannot make others happy, then I'm a failure in life. So we start with making those close to us happy first. And then we start the community, the country, and everyone else. But it is our duty to make others happy. And the only way we can make Premi happy at this time is to pray to Lord Krishna. So, and for that prayer to be answered, it must come from a pure heart. So whatever anger we have, whatever hypocrisy we have, whatever hatred we have, whatever jealousy we have, remove it at this time. You know, Lord Krishna told us that he exists in the heart of each and every one of us. None of us can say, the Lord is not here. The Lord is here. But many of us, we don't feel his presence because the heart is unclean. So you know, the heart is like a mirror. When the mirror is dirty, you don't see the reflection. But when the mirror is clean, you see that reflection. So if we can keep our hearts clean, we will feel the presence of the Lord in our lives at all times. And if we can feel the presence, then we can be leading our lives towards the Lord. He is in our hearts. And none of us, that's one thing the Lord cannot do. You know, we feel God can do everything. Lord Krishna told us, one thing I cannot do is remove myself from the hearts of the human beings. I cannot do that. That's one thing I cannot do. But it's up to us now as human beings to feel his presence. So you maintain a clean heart, a pure heart, and when you make your sacrifices, you perform your devotion, the dearly departed will benefit from these sacrifices. Boliye Shri Vrindavan, Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Offering flowers. So devotees, before we do closing, I just want to, few things I want to tell you. When we leave, Premi lived in this area, he will be attached. So before we leave, we are going to offer a pin on the outside to cut his attachment. So that when he leaves, if you're leaving and you keep thinking, and I shouldn't go, you wouldn't want to go. So we are going to offer that to cut his attachment, so that he will go peacefully. And then we are going to offer pieces of gold for the 5 senses, because when the senses are disciplined, the mind will be controlled. And when the mind is controlled, then we can live at the feet of the Lord. Because many people say when we offer gold, we are offering wealth to the departed. We are offering real wealth, not material wealth. Gold is the only element upon this earth that does not change. You take gold as it is now and you measure the properties, you melt the gold in the molten state, the properties are the same. You freeze the gold, the properties are the same. It does not change. So if we can get the mind focused upon the Lord, unwavering, not changing, then we will go towards the Lord. And the doorway to the mind are the 5 senses. So we're going to offer those pieces of gold so that he will go with a disciplined mind, controlled mind towards the Lord. So we're going to make those 2 offerings in a bit. But before we do the closing prayer and then make those 2 offerings, one of his good friends are here, and he has requested to say a few words. And most of you will know his name. Most of you will know him. He is Attorney Gerard Ramsey. I'll ask him to say a few words, and then we will close, and then we'll make the final offering.
Thank you, Pandit. I have had the privilege of knowing Premi for a few years, and from the knowledge that I've had and my interaction with him, the qualities that he has demonstrated during those few years that I have known him are clearly the qualities that he's demonstrated for his entire 59 years that God has allowed him to be here with us. And many have described Premi as a beautiful soul. I've had a few interactions with him, and I can tell you, one of the things that stood out to him is that one morning, Premi had gotten into a little accident, and he had called me for some advice, and I had sorted it out for him. And in the afternoon, he called me, late in the afternoon, to simply say thanks. And he had that quality about him, of being gracious for everything that was given to him. And it really said a lot about him. And today, when we say goodbye to him, we should all be happy for the life that he's lived. We should be gracious that God has given us 59 years with him. There is an old saying that many of the older folks will know. They say, it takes a village to raise a child. And this village has been given that opportunity now. Because if it is one thing that he would have wanted is for his children to be looked after, and that responsibility falls upon each and every one who is here today, not any particular individual. But I remember on Saturday night when Suresh called me and told me Premi has gone into the hospital. On Friday night, when Suresh called me and told me Premi had gone into the hospital, the last thing that he said to Suresh was, look after my girls for me. And what I want to leave you with today is one short little story or experience that we had on Saturday. On Saturday afternoon, I had spoken to Suresh, and he said I was on the way to the nursing home. He said, but I'm going to look after the girls. I'm going to drop some KFC and donuts for them, and I'll make sure and go and see Premi in the morning. And those words ring loud in my memory because Suresh kept saying, he said, the one thing he kept saying was, Premi going to make it, Premi going to make it, don't worry boss, Premi going to make it, and I'm going to see him in the morning. And the morning never came. And that is a lesson for all of us. When you have the opportunity to say a few words to your loved ones, take that opportunity, because you do not know when that opportunity will be taken from you. Suresh wanted to go and see Premi the next morning, and that morning never came. He never got that opportunity to see him. So for all of us who are here, and all of us who celebrate Premi's life, if there is one thing that you can take from it, never forget to cherish your children. Say how much you love them every day. And cherish the time that God has given you with your community, with your loved ones, with your family. And always remember that you never know when your time will come and when God will call you back. He's given us Premi for 59 years, and He's called him now back to his home. And all that Pandit has said is true. All that we can do is pray for him now. So keep him in your prayers, and in your prayers, ask God to bless his children and to find a way for them to console themselves and to always remember their father, because he was a very good father to them. So eternal rest grant unto him, and may his soul rest in peace. Thank you very much.
बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. So devotees, at this time, let us all stand. We are going to say a prayer on behalf of the dearly departed. And this prayer comes from the Isavasya Upanishad, which is saying, O Lord, let my pran, let the breath in this body return to the all-pervading air. Let the body be burnt to ashes and return to the elements. And O my mind, remember that you came from the Lord, and let me return to the Lord. This is a prayer that we all say on behalf of the dearly departed. We pray to Sri Krishna in the name of the departed. Matidam bhasmantam shariram Om krato smarakritam smaram Krato smarakritam smaram Mantrahinam kriyahinam Bhaktihinam janardhanam Yatta pujitam maya deva Paripurnam tarastumi Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva Tvameva bandhu cha sikha tvameva Tvameva vedya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Shanti 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 Boliye Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Of the flowers. So at this time, the brothers, the cousins, they are going to make the offering on the outside, and then we'll return and we'll offer the 5 pieces of gold. So those of you who wish to have your final viewing of the body, you can do so at this time. But you have to do it in a respectful way. We do it in a parikrima, we keep the body in a clockwise. This is why you notice when they were doing puja, I made them come this way and go back that way. That's a mark of respect. So if you're viewing the body, you come this way, go this way, take your view, and leave. So everybody come this way, go, and take your view. So you all can have a seat now at this time. Those of you who wish to have your viewing, you want to offer flowers and flowers and whatnot, you can do so. Well, the brothers and cousins and whatnot, we're going outside to offer the pinda. When we return, I'll tell you what we will do. Sinanan. Wet enough? Okay. Essence. Like the hierarchy now. Pull that.
Vengo for the water, I like the water. So I think Mango see this year, maybe. He could see very soon.
All the rest of them could hold the house. Road goes in the middle of all the assets. All of it bow, all of it come down. So open the road and the road.
True. You pass through the Vidal. I pass through. I don't pass from it.
Yeah, we want
Right A. Quite that was right there.
On the?
Yeah, quite right. That's all by water and that's it. Left. So what we're doing is how we're going to do it, right? I will announce it. 5 of you and 6%.
All of it. In any direction.
Yeah, but that's everything.
Very next hope. Very next hope.
Yeah.
Use this, buddy. Let's try. Use it. Then break it out. Somebody for reach you allowed.
How much time?
I know, but she will be there.
What we're doing is going out here. No, when I reach out here, the cricket team, we walk into the Yankee house. From there, then we will go. Right? So you take any water, and when we reach there, when we go in the house, then we go for the water. I will direct the right. Right? So we walk in down to there. Yeah, when we first started. But 26% have to know it.
Gosh.
Somebody.
Shut me out, and I'm okay with what is my plan. Like, you want to get it done? Don't do shit. Come see him.
So everybody let us all stand. Very good. Go on. Right there. That's what is happened. Up there. What do you rest? Wait one more. Are we going on shoulders? Come here now.
Thank you. आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का महीना काहे तू आया जग में क्या तुझको करना काहे तू आया जग में क्या तुझको करना नेकी करम कर ले दुनिया से डरना काहे तू आया जग में क्या तुझको
One side, come now.
Somebody on that side. Hold on. Let it go there. Come, grab it. Come.
Get back in there.
have your right hand on the ground. Yeah. Take his name in your mind. Right, so now, 5 around the 6 person throat. Taking up, throat, bending handed, down, throat with the hand, 3 on that side. 3 on that side. Throat with hand, throat, on the hand, like throat together. With the hand, and we're going up on the shoulder. Ram Nam Satya Hai, Ram Nam Satya Hai, Ram Nam Satya Hai.
They are given knowledge trouble.
They're going with me. Right here. Everybody back on the side. Like that.
Right side, look from behind.
Right hand on the ground again, take his name again. You want it, I didn't want it. But you shouldn't forget that. Right, so throat, hand there, up on shoulders again. Ram Nam Satya Hai, Ram Nam Satya Hai, Ram Nam Satya Hai. That's the man right there. Right there.
There's the person.
I call me back after lunchtime. I'm going to spend all at the moment.
So come here and make the turn so we won't have to.
Come on, turn. Right? Come forward.
We need a fire for it?
Yeah. 5 minutes.
This one, right?
Yeah. Only bus. 8 people.
Right.
Five again. You have a tally bag. How one of those? So only flowers.
Just
the flowers, right? And everything for you.
Go and don't come back.
Sure.
Okay? Okay?
They go in peace.
Go in peace. Don't leave me alone, okay?
You can visit Mitra tonight.
No.
Brim. Mitra love you so much, you can visit him tonight.
No. Only the flowers. The perfume box. You can take it out there?
No, leave it.
Perfume box.
No. Perfume.
There's more flowers, you know. The one you offer.
Alright, this basket, put that to one side. Put one side outside. Oh, wait. Alright, so 5 all over back on that side.
Need calcium?
The 2 eye, the 2 nose, and also one on top of the nose.
Oh, no.
Start with. Not only place,
Quỷ bà cái giày cho chú.
No.
Come on.
You're right.
Alright.
Rob, you want to bring up someone beside you?
No, only very good.
Really, this will give you cholesterol, right?
Hey, Lord Krishna, last time, you.
Makan, di na makan, di boy. Yeah, we're pretty much good now.
Just spread it around a little bit now. Spread it around.
Thank you.
When he keeps it down.
That will melt, yeah.
It's okay.
Rest is where they are. Anybody else say anything now? Say it now on. Going in. Right? This time when we're taking up, we leave any cloths. Now we're going straight in the middle, straight down. There you go. Leave the cloth, lose the cloth. You want the hand there. Come straight, use a clean hand. Not the cloth, leave the cloth this time.
Ready? 1, 2, let's go. Up.
Right. Very much.
All right, good. The match. We have the match. For that one, the match.
Mix up. Funny. Well, let's come to the Om Chitragutte Purnam Haswada, Om Dev Purnam Haswada, Om Pranai Purnam Haswada, Om Pranai Purnam Haswada, Om Samanai Purnam Haswada, Om Samanai Purnam Haswada, Om Vyani Purnam Haswada, Om Ishtevta Purnam Haswaha, Om Kuldevta Purnam Haswaha, Om Gram Devta Purnam Haswaha, Om Stan Devta Purnam Haswaha, Om Dasrikpa Devta Purnam Haswaha, Om Panchpa Devta Purnam Haswaha, Om Vastu Devta Purnam Haswaha, Om Brata Purnam Haswaha, and all the rest. Om Sarva Pitre Purnam Haswaha. Rest it all then, like what you have in the cloth then after.
We don't need this.
We use the can. Pass the water. All of you, about to fire.
We're going to do what's best for all the children. So you go by the start.
Take the stick now.
I don't realize I'll be any man.
Lal, you stay aside. So take all the sticks on. We're going 5 times around.
Yeah.
Keeping the stick down, we're going fast. And every time when they come back, touch it back. Then go again, touch fast. Right? 5. I will check it. All right. Keep the sticks down and move fast, right? There you go.
classify like anyone by the mouth, they can't provide. But you pass behind them and they push out the stick inside, classify and you push out the stick inside. You can't put them out right. You have to classify and let's push on anywhere on the side. Pushing it, pushing it. Right? Come, 5 hours. Keep your ring here. Alright, now let me make it wrong color.
Suresh, anyone else? You planned it?
May check out plant one.
Andy, help Suresh. Good job.
Here is dirty. We can't go through in this one. Let's get it on the next one soon, okay?
Well, I found a good job. Right here,
Yeah, he's African.
On the side? Yeah. No, that's it. This is a little bit of dinner, right? Keep on doing my last thing, right?
Leave it there.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, so now you always pick up your ring, sit out, and you put that up with the ring, right? You think, right? But when I go home, they're called fire, like they're not going to have to carry the insurance. Tomorrow morning, or that's right and early, 5 o'clock. Okay, you have to be here like 6. Good. You bring in a pulsar. See his actually usually start when the body.
Hello? Yeah. I'll call it back just now on the creek right now in the canal. Yeah.
Oh, so we pour the ashes?
Yeah.
I just went on the ashes. Then pull the pulsar. You bring a yard of white cloth.
Right. No problem.
The rest of the ashes have to show around the water. But it's not 2 ways to show it.
No, you got to walk it to me.
Yeah, you got to go downstairs.
All right.
Ya va.